It's time to sit back, relax, and listen to Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life will inspire, motivate, and empower you. Live your best life now. Listen, learn, think, and decide. Change your attitude, change your life. And now, here's your host, Joan Herman.
Welcome to Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. You're listening to us in your neighborhood from coast to coast and around the world. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Joan Herman, author, speaker, and your host. Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life brings you interviews with some of the most inspirational and influential people in the world. It's our goal to educate and empower you so you can live your best life now. Thank you for taking time for yourself, and thank you for letting us be a part of your life. We have another great show for you today. Joining me is Fisher Roffer, who is here to discuss how you can reinvent your brand, reignite your passion, and make a name for yourself. Robin is the go-to person for companies that are ready to engage audiences and evolve their brands across multiple platforms. Robin has provided the fuel that has launched and evolved dozens of media brands all over the world, such as A&E, CNN, Comedy Central, Food Network, Hallmark Channel, History, Lifetime, MTV, and TNT. Robin has authored 4 books, including Make a Name for Yourself, The Fearless Fish Out of Water, Reinventing Yourself, and her latest book, The No Fear Career. Welcome, Robin. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. I'm really happy to be here.
Well, Robin, I am so happy to have you here. And going through your bio, it was almost like an endless bio, and we had to pick and choose what to include. So you have definitely done some amazing work, and I'm so happy that you're joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Now, Robin, when people hear the term branding, they tend to think about a company or a product. But personal branding can have a major impact on professional success. So what is personal branding, and why should everyone be paying attention to it?
Well, brands are built on great stories, right? And they're built on having a purpose, a reason to be in the world. And for example, personal branding is so important, and also if you have a small business, personal branding is key. Because I really created a self-fulfilling prophecy when I named my company Big Fish. And I was all about getting the big fish, the biggest companies who had the biggest profiles and the biggest brands, and having them be my clients. And it's actually happened, and I pinched myself. So paying attention to how you talk about yourself, how you talk about your business, how you talk about your expertise is what personal branding is all about. And when somebody asks us, tell me about yourself, and we don't have a compelling, memorable answer that you can say what you do and why you're meaningful in 10 seconds, you are going to lose what could be an incredible opportunity with somebody.
Now, Robin, you say that if you don't brand yourself, someone else will. So for someone that's new to this, are there some tips you can offer to help someone create a personal brand?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things anybody can do, and it's absolutely free, is if you go to bigfishmarketing.com, there's a button that you can click, and it takes you to the 8 steps of how to build your brand. And anyone can get that. But the first step is to unearth who you really are and get to the essence. And a lot of times it's the story we're hiding is the one we need to tell the most. And, for example, when I was growing up, I had a single dad, and my mother was not in the picture. And he raised my sister and me by himself, and he was an ad man, and he taught us the ad business. And from the age of 11, I was laying out ads, I was writing copy for him, I was going to meetings, and I was pitching and closing deals. And right alongside me was my sister, and we ended up being in business together. Now, that story is what I say when somebody says, tell me about yourself. And I got that from unearthing who I really am. I am the daughter of a single dad raised in Cleveland, Ohio, who loves advertising and learned it at my father's knee. Now, that story I didn't tell for years because I was embarrassed about the fact that my mom was never in the picture when I was growing up, yet she was alive. So I hid that story. So it's so important that we take off the mask of the people pleaser, the tough cookie, or the BSer, or the caretaker, whatever we're wearing to cover up our fear, and we dig deep to find out who we are. So that's the first step, and then we can uncover our mission and our value proposition. And the mission is, why are you here? What is your true purpose in this lifetime? And then be able to tell that with such conviction that people want to support that mission. And it all comes from being authentically you. That's what great brands are. They're authentic.
And Robin, I think so many people fall into the rut of just going to work day in and day out, and they're not excited by their job and they've lost their passion. So is it important for people to redefine who they are so that they have something to offer their employer?
Absolutely, because the employer is dying to know what you do that's different from everyone else. What do you bring to the table? And if you act like a jack of all trades or a Jane of all trades, then you're going to end up getting pigeonholed and branded something that you never imagined. Like, let's say you were really great at throwing the last office party. You could end up a party planner for the rest of your life unless you tell your boss, I am a fantastic financial strategist. They may have no idea. You have to declare who you are and what you're good at. That's key.
When people don't do that, what happens is then, Robin, they end up blaming their employer. This is the worst place to work. I never get a promotion. I never get a raise. So how much of the responsibility falls on us?
A lot of, I think almost all of it. I really do. I think that if we're getting pigeonholed something that isn't who we are, then we're showing up with that mask on of somebody else, and we're just saying yes to whatever comes our way, and we're not being discerning about our project work, which is what defines us, and we're not volunteering for the project work that we really want to do, even if it's outside of what is our perception or wheelhouse. So we have to raise our hand at work, and especially in reviews, and especially, when we're being asked by our boss if we're interested in a certain position, we need to be stepping up, raising our hand and telling them why what we do matters in the organization.
Why do you think we don't do that? Do you think we're afraid, or do you think that after a while we just start to feel that we're so insignificant? What do you think the driving force is?
Yeah, I think it's all about self-esteem. I think it's also, some of us were raised to be good girls and we obliged, or good boys, and good girls and boys don't brag. But I'm not talking about bragging. I'm talking about being in service. So it's a reframe in your mind of sharing what you're good at. You can share what you're good at and come off as boastful, or you can share what you're good at and come off as in service. I'd really like to serve the organization better. One of my areas of expertise that you might not know about is the fact that I can brand and market almost any product. I can distill a product story and make it appealing to the target audience. I bet you didn't know that about me, but as I'm seeing in this organization, there's a void in that area. I'd love to fill it. See the difference? It's about talking about your skill set, but in relationship to how it can raise up the organization.
So what advice would you offer to someone to help them push through the fear to do what you're advising? How do they push that fear aside of rejection or failure, whatever's going through their head?
Well, if you're in fear right now, you're not in faith. You have to be in faith of yourself and what you can do. And it's writing down who you really are. So for me, it's Robin is not. So you'd make a list with your name and you'd put down what you can do and what you can't do. And for me, it's like Robin is strong. Robin is not arrogant. Robin is great, is a solid brander. She's not fake. It's this kind of list that makes you, clarifies 10 of those adjectives. Putting them down and owning it is key. And then it's really important to have a mantra for yourself. For me, I say, I am power, I am possibilities, and I am sparkle. And I say that every time before I go into any situation where I can feel that fear raising up in me, and then I face it head on and go for it. What's the worst thing that can happen? They can say no.
Right, right. So you talked about having that pitch that basically sums up who you are, what you bring to the table. What should be included in that pitch?
Oh, actually, that's wonderful that you asked that, because I think, and this is in a blog that I wrote, that if you go to the blog area of my website, bigfishmarketing.com, you'll find it. It's how to tell your greatest story. So if you put that into search, you'll find what I'm about to tell you. And first of all, your story needs to have what you do. And what is your point of view and what you stand for. So for me, I'm a brand strategist and storyteller, and I believe that different is good. The backstory is your superhero origin, or how you started in business. So I just told you the one about my dad and raising me and being at 11. The twists and turns in your story. Well, I could have stayed in Los Angeles, and my company was just huge and growing, and we were making so much money. It was fabulous, but I knew it wasn't where I wanted to raise my child, and I was losing my mind being there, so I moved to Santa Fe. So twists and turns in your story are really interesting. External validators, any awards or clients you have, you just listed my clients, so that gives you that validation. Anybody you've worked with, anything that you've accomplished that you're proud of. And then humanizing yourself. So part of that elevator pitch is, what do you love to do? For me, I was a rock promoter in college, and my teenage daughter and I go all over the place seeking out music festivals. And we were just at South by Southwest and Mumford & Sons, so I talk about them. Find things in your story that they connect to. Ooh, I like Mumford & Sons too. Oh, I love Austin, right there. So you want some humanizing things. And those are really the elements of a great elevator pitch, a great story, great narrative about you.
Robin, what do you think people do wrong when making that pitch? What do you think the biggest mistake is?
The biggest mistake is apologizing for themselves. I see it all the time. They say, well, I'm sorry, I'm not good at that, I'm not good at this. You're here to tell your greatest story. I'm not great at math, but that's the last thing I'm going to share in an interview. So it's not apologizing for who you are, and for celebrating who you are, and for sharing, doing a 180-degree turn, and standing in the shoes of the person that you're talking to and telling them what's in it for them if they work with you.
I'm talking to Robin Fisher Roffer, who is the author of the new book, The No Fear Career, and she's from Big Fish Marketing. If you would like to learn more about Robin, if you'd like to learn about the topic that we're discussing, you can visit her website, bigfishmarketing.com. Robin, what would you like to leave our listeners with? What would be the message if you could sum up your body of work? What is the one thing you want our listeners to walk away with?
I want everybody to know that they're here for a reason, and to really motivate them to try to find that true purpose and to live on purpose. That's what having a great personal brand is. It's really what it's all about. And once you've declared your purpose and you're telling the world what it is, wait till you see all the opportunities that you attract that support that mission and vision for your life. It's so exciting. I get excited even thinking about everyone now listening to this interview going out and doing just that.
Robin, thank you so much for joining us. As I said in the beginning, I think when people hear about branding and creating a personal brand, they always think that it has to do just with business and corporate and products and things that are for sale or are being marketed. And they never really realize that in almost every situation, we are selling or marketing ourselves in our relationships and anything. So I think this is a really great message, and it's wonderful information that can impact so many lives. So thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
We'll be right back. Hi, this is Joan Herman, host of Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. Did you know that Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life has a free monthly digital magazine that can be read online or emailed to your inbox? Every month, nationally recognized leaders in their field provide information to educate, inspire, and motivate you. We believe in a holistic approach to life, incorporating mind, body, and spirit. Check out a copy of Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life 24/7. Visit cyacyl.com and be sure to tell your friends. Thank you for joining us today. We hope you found the show informative. At Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life, we believe that knowledge is power. Take what you've learned, apply it, and live your best life now. Remember that the information provided are the opinions of our guests and should never replace the advice of a professional who knows your personal situation. If you'd like more information, visit our website, cyacyl.com. That stands for Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. While on the site, listen to past shows on demand, read the digital magazine, and be sure to follow the show on Facebook and Twitter. Until next time, this is Joan Herman. Thanks for tuning in.